The big topic, the big, massive news that basically just sent shockwaves all across the American political landscape is this headline. This headline here is, I think, a little bit dramatic and, kind of exaggerates the scope of the ruling. But here, MSNBC is saying Colorado Supreme Court rules Trump disqualified from holding presidency. So down here it says the Colorado Supreme Court said on Tuesday that Donald Trump is disqualified from holding the office of the presidency under the U.S. Constitution. The ruling is on hold for now, pending potential U.S. Supreme Court review. Trump has vowed to, quote, swiftly appeal to the high court, which could reverse the ruling. Because he's disqualified, the state Supreme Court said in its 4-3 decision, spending 133 pages, it would be a wrongful act to list Trump as a candidate on the presidential primary ballot. There we go. Wait. What? Hold on. Wait a second. It also says, therefore, the court said he can't be on the ballot or have write-in votes for him counted. Now that's crazy, because there are going to be a lot of people who would write in Donald Trump. And if a lot of states decided, hey, you know what? We want to interfere in the election too, and we don't want to let Donald Trump win the election, so we're just going to say that he is disqualified, and we're going to make it so that any votes for him are null and void. That's going to cause serious problems. It's going to cause serious problems, not just for democracy, because it's an extremely anti-democratic move to just be like, hey, we don't like you, so we're gonna ban you from winning the election or getting any electoral college votes from us. But of course, there's very likely going to be some sort of reaction to that, right? It's Trump fans are generally peaceful, but I think that there's only so much that you can push them before they decide to do something else. So this can cause all kinds of problems if something like this is going to be allowed to stand. So, I mean, yeah, I do hope that Donald Trump appeals this, as he should. I actually think that, we should probably consider some sort of legislation where no one can be disqualified from holding presidential office, because, now that we've opened up this Pandora's box of being able to be like, oh, well, you're just disqualified, or even using, or kind of like even going down that list of, oh, what are the ways that we could keep someone from being president? Oh, we can consider them to be disqualified. Then this is a power that can be abused, not just against Trump, but against people who don't like Trump, against literally anyone. The political landscape could be completely different in 50 years, right? We don't know what American politics is going to look like in 2073. So we can't just be short-sighted and be like, oh, we need to let Trump win the election. We need to find ways to bolster the election process so that, future elections can't be tampered with, even on other sides of the aisle. Now, I do hope that the U.S. Supreme Court goes against this, because, it's very thin standing, right? I think, if I remember correctly, oh yeah, here we go. This here is from The Guardian. So The Guardian says, Colorado Supreme Court disqualifies Trump from state's 2024 ballot. State's highest court declares former president ineligible for White House under U.S. Constitution's insurrection clause. So one route that the Supreme Court could go with ruling with this is considering that there is actually no hard evidence that Donald Trump, helped in any way with some sort of insurrection, right? There was the riot on January 6th, but there's no evidence really saying that Donald Trump orchestrated that riot. There's no evidence that he coordinated it, that he planned it, that he said, hey guys, break down the barricades, bust in, break into the Capitol building. None of that. And also, I think that the evidence is fairly thin, that even if you want to paint, even if you want to remove Donald Trump from the equation, that even was an insurrection. There's not really much evidence kind of pointing towards that either. At the end of the day, they're removing Donald Trump from the ballot for something that he hasn't even been found guilty of. Those are two massive hurdles. This is absolutely ludicrous and it's insane, but it does show the lengths to which people will go to stop Donald Trump from being president. And if you think that this is the only thing that people are going to do, you would be sorely mistaken. I think you would be sorely mistaken. States are going to try to get Donald Trump arrested. Once he's arrested, more people are going to try to remove him from the ballot. I think even if Donald Trump wins the 2024 election, I would be shocked if he took office, frankly, because people die, right? Donald Trump is an old man. He could have a heart attack, right? He could decide to just throw in the towel on life because he's been suffering under so many hardships, right? There are many ways that Donald Trump could pass away before the inauguration of the 2024 election. It's unfortunate, and I really wish that this sort of thing was not the case. But I mean, if we're going to be honest, right? What lengths would the Democrats stop at when it comes to trying to keep Donald Trump from being elected president, right? I mean, there's a generally accepted principle in the United States where you don't jail political enemies. That's a major reason why Donald Trump didn't have Hillary Clinton further prosecuted for her crimes, because he was like, well, she's a political enemy, and I'm not gonna go attack political enemies using the letter of the law. That's all thrown out of the window with Democrats in various states trying to get Trump thrown into jail for whatever they can pin him on, potentially. That's all gone out the window. My general point is, what lengths would the Democrats stop at when it comes to trying to keep Donald Trump from being president? I don't really see any, right? I mean, they've already committed to putting him in jail, right? They committed to doing that. What more could they do? Because it's important to point out that that might not even keep him from being president of the United States. It's possible that he could still take office while being in jail. So there's that to consider as well. What could they do? Could they have some sort of coup in the government? There probably aren't enough Democrats to pull that off. The only way to truly guarantee that Donald Trump never becomes president again is if he dies. So that is, I think, a possibility of something that could happen. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I come back a year from now and I'm like, I was wrong. Donald Trump is president now, or maybe a little bit over a year, because it'd have to be the inauguration process. But it's unfortunate. And I think this is also unfortunate because as someone who, has serious problems with Donald Trump, who is not supporting Donald Trump in the primary process, and doesn't really want to see Donald Trump become the GOP nominee, this political persecution of Donald Trump makes him an increasingly sympathetic individual. And as he looks more and more sympathetic, more people are going to gravitate towards him. I support Vivek Ramaswamy during this process, right? But a lot more people support, like, let's say, Ron DeSantis. But people are starting to kind of waffle on Ron DeSantis as he waffles on some of his own policies. And I could easily see all of Ron DeSantis' supporters being like, you know what? We need to stand with Donald Trump because this is a landmark moment in American history where a major political opponent is being jailed so that jailed and persecuted against so that he cannot take office of the president of the United States. I could very easily see that happening, and that could very quickly guarantee that Donald Trump becomes the GOP presidential nominee, which, again, like I said, I hope doesn't happen because we have better options, even in the current field, to be honest. So we'll see. And, hopefully nothing ends up being as bad as I think it possibly could. I try to throw out possibilities, not things that I think are super likely, but there are just certain things you can't rule out when you're looking at the trends of, what the Democrats are doing, how things have been moving in motion. I don't know any single Republican who's like, what? They kicked him off of the Colorado ballot, so I'm going to vote for Ron DeSantis instead. Like, it's going to be the opposite direction. This does nothing but boost Donald Trump's campaign, and that's one thing that I'm kind of salty about when it comes to this. So, I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong in some way, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I'd be curious to hear your guys' take on this issue. But I just think that this is serious. This is unfortunate. And I don't see any positives that can come out of this. Unless, of course, the Supreme Court rules in Trump's favor. Then everything's Gucci. But I don't know.